Welcome back. This is Patrick with Unexpected Every Day, and guess what we're doing? We are going on an adventure. We are going to the wonderful forest of Ocala National Forest, and we are on the Juniper Prairie Wilderness Trail. I guess it's the Highway 40 to Hopkins Prairie Trail, according to all trails. But as you can see, it's a 20-mile hike. Yikes. Well, I assure you, we did not hike 20 miles. We only hiked a tiny little sliver, and here it is. Yep, that is an 8-kilometer walk, or hike, I guess, because I like to go by metric because I run a lot. So I do all my runs in 5Ks and stuff. But I'm going to overlay this. You can see here our walk, our 8-kilometer, I guess, 4 out and 4 back is just this tiny little sliver on top of this 20-mile trail. Yep, and it took us about 2 hours to do it. And here's the proof. I was using my Apple Watch to record the whole thing. And it's really great, actually, because it actually maps your entire hike. I love it. Because, you can go back and look if you want. I don't do it often, but it's fun to do. So that's the trip, and I'm going to show you just exactly where this is. So you can see here, if you've never been to Florida, it's got a lot of green space, a lot of hiking trails, and this place is almost dead center of Florida. It is like you can see here. Uh, this is the Ocala National Forest, and I'm gonna zoom out with my map, and I'm gonna put this little red dot on there so you can see where it is as I zoom out. And Florida gets bigger and bigger, and yeah, see, I'm showing you how we drive to Ocala from there. Zoom out, and boom, there it is. Right almost in the dead center. I guess center north. But that's where it is. So if you've never been there, now you know where it is. All right, well, now here's the fun part. The part everybody's been waiting for, the part where I ramble on about our hike. Now that you know everything about this trail, now you get to watch it. And we are obviously walking, and it's a pretty narrow trail through all these trees. And I don't think we run into anybody except maybe once. So, not many people on this trail. It is a little bit further away from civilization. I think it took us an hour from the nearest city to get here. But, we like to find kind of out of the way places like this. And it's kind of rare to find something this nice. It's mostly covered, not completely shaded, but pretty good coverage. There's a lot of trails in Florida where they're pretty flat, boring trails that are like super wide, like 10 feet wide, and you're just like walking in a straight line the whole time. These type of trails are our favorite because it's a winding road. There's various things to see along the way. This one, not so much. Like we'll hit a lake here and there. We've been to much better trails, and this is actually the only time we've been, and we probably won't go back to this one. But it's a really nice long trail if you want to spend a day doing it. Like I mentioned, we spent 2 hours, basically an hour in, an hour out, doing this hike. It is probably the longest hike that we've done in a long time. But so she is hauling, and so am I. It's a Camelback backpack, so there's water in there. We're actually hiking with two of our girls, and they are At this point, I think they're behind us. I think we're in front. But you'll see them in a little bit when we turn around or something. We're always kind of leading the charge on the way out, and they are always leading the charge on the way back because they always want to get back as soon as possible. That's how kids are, right? When are we going to get there, and when are we going home? That's kind of how life is. So we're reaching a point, it's kind of open, not a lot of tree coverage at this spot. Eventually, we will get to a tiny little lake. You can see my face there popping up on the right every now and then. I put the GoPro on my backpack. There's definitely better places to put it, but I filmed this as a time lapse, but then I increased it to make it shorter. Originally, I shortened it down so much that it was only like 3 minutes, and it was honestly difficult to watch. It's like, whoa, I can't even watch this thing because it's just like so fast and like blurry. So it's kind of like useless. So I opted to make it about 20 minutes. You know, I don't think most people are going to sit around for the entire video, but if you like listening to me ramble on, this is the video for you. So, let's see. You know, we live in a place that's got a lot of outdoor area nearby. So, like, this is Ocala National Forest, and there's this really famous green belt in Ocala. It's like this, literally, like, it looks like a belt going across the county. And in there is a really famous bike trail. It's called the Santos Bike Trails, and a lot of people come there from far away to mountain bike. I'll upload some videos from there one of these days. We've gone there about 6 times now. It's a really great place. Like, I went to a bike shop in Sarasota, Florida one day because I used to mountain bike a lot and I loved it and wanted to get a bike. And I'm like, dude, Florida's so flat. Like, is there a point to even buying a mountain bike? And these bike shop guys looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, dude, Florida has some of the best mountain biking in the country. And I was like shocked. I'm like, what? Where? Because I was in Sarasota. There's like nothing over there. But you get up to these places a little further north, and yeah, there are definitely some great biking places. And the Santos trails are one of them. A ton of bikers on them all the time. They're great. They've got... Why am I talking about Santos Trail? I should be talking about this hike. So we'll save that for another day. All right, coming up on 7.5 minutes now. As you can see, it looks like we're just walking the entire time, but maybe you've noticed the cuts. Because I cut out all the little breaks. We stopped and took drinks and ate snacks. We stopped quite a bit, actually, especially the kiddos, because, we're the ones carrying the water and they're not. So we had to hand them the water bottles and the snacks. Whatever, parenting. But when we pack for this kind of stuff, let's see, what do we bring? This trail, we brought these backpacks. We don't normally hike with these backpacks. We'll mountain bike with these backpacks, but not normally. We usually don't hike. But I have a shoulder bag that I always carry water with me. When we go hiking, I'm normally the only one carrying water. But we only go on like shorter trails, like 30 minutes. This is one of the longer ones, so we took those backpacks and lots of snacks. I also like to bring a knife as well, like one that I can flick the blade out pretty quick. There's not a lot of wild animals out here, honestly. The most the most wild animals we've ever seen are, some turtles, rabbits here and there. But there are wild boar here and there. One time we were going on a trail and we heard these wild boars, like really loud. Like we had gotten out of the car, we just started hiking, and we are just like, nope. We like noped our way out so fast. Oh, hey, so we're at like the 10-minute mark, and you can see the kids up ahead of us. This is probably the point where we had turned around, because, like I mentioned, they're in the front now. They're like, okay, when can we GTFO and get home? So this will be interesting. Now there's more things to watch. Not just her walking there, just the kids in front too. So I guess one of them is carrying a bag. Oh, my bad. I accused kids of not carrying their weight. So yeah, she's got a bag on. The other one doesn't though. You know, I don't know how useful these kind of things are, like a time lapse of walking through a trail, but I took the video, so here it is. I hope you guys do enjoy it. But for me, when I watch this, experiencing it is one thing, but I often lean pretty heavily on YouTube and getting information from there because I like to be prepared. I like to be ready. I want to know something is worth it before I actually go and do a hike. So, let's say if I was planning a vacation, going somewhere I've never been, I might want to watch some of the videos first so I'm familiar with it. I don't really like to be unprepared for places I've never been. And I do a lot of that for my projects as well. Like I will do a lot of research on YouTube. Sometimes in my videos you'll see me stop and pause for a while. It might be because I'm frustrated with something or I'm looking something up to figure out how to figure something out. Oh, that's some winding. Lots of winding on the back. It always feels like it goes faster when you get to the end. So let's see, what else do we have in our bags? Okay, water, snacks, knife, sunblock probably, bug spray. Oh yes, do not forget your bug spray because you will be murdered by mosquitoes. Murdered, like seriously. One tip for mosquitoes that I found, like I got bit by like 10 mosquitoes yesterday, like just walking through like a little field. Hand sanitizer, like straight up, like drop hand sanitizer wherever you get bit, like super fast. I'm not itchy at all. One day later, not one bit. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Bring bug spray for sure, and make sure you get everywhere. Honestly, spray your clothing too, because they will land on you and go straight through your clothes. So don't just spray your skin, kind of give a general spray on your clothing as well. Because, like, seriously, I'll have mosquito bites on my back. And it's like, how did they get me? Because they just stick in their little needle face through your clothes. They doesn't, they're going through your skin anyway. They're going to make it right through those little holes in the fabric. So, bug spray. Obviously, bring your phone. These kind of places you might not have cellular connection, so it's nice to use an app like All Trails that will actually it'll save the map data, so you can follow the map as you go. So like I'll like have the map open all the time, just following us on the trail. That's super helpful. and make sure we're actually still on the trail. Some of the trails, like this is a really, really obvious trail. It is so obvious that it is a trail, but oftentimes you'll be in a place that it's not that obvious. It won't be marked that well. It's not a very, not a lot of people go there, so there's all the plants growing over the trail itself, so you can't really tell where it is. So I like to use those maps just to make sure I'm going in the right direction. It'll help me if I get lost. Oh, you see there, the kids were walking up ahead so fast they had to stop and wait for us. Oh, poor them. So funny. So I also have a Apple Watch Ultra 2, and it'll also do wayfinding as well. I've never had to rely on it before, but I've had it pop up on me when I completely lose cellular connection. It'll be like, blink, marked a waypoint, blink, marked another. And one day I watched it on our way back, and I was like, dang, that is accurate. So you absolutely don't want to get lost. Don't go alone either, please. Especially in hot summer days, because heat stroke's a real thing, and if you're alone and you pass out, you might not be found for a while, or who knows. So definitely don't go alone. Also, make sure you bring lots and lots of water. That's pretty obvious, but some people don't do it. Bring a lot of water. I also recommend bringing a hat. This trip was actually in March, so it wasn't super hot. So we weren't too worried about the heat. At this time, whenever we go on long trips, we'll generally wear hats, especially when we go kayaking. I'll upload some of those videos later too. We always wear those, especially when we're just like out in the sun for such a long time. I don't necessarily like the look, but it's for health. We're not like covering our faces with masks and our arms with things, but we try to at least keep the sun off our heads. So we are getting near the end. We're at almost minute 17. 3 more minutes to go. Trail's almost done. I'm about to overtake, it looks like. Nope, I'm back in the back. So you can see the sun, we're walking in the direction. You can see more of the sunlight coming through. It is very pretty. Oh yeah, try to get back before dark. That is one thing too. I would not recommend. Oh, hello train. We're just gonna keep it. There's a train where I'm at. I do not absolutely recommend doing anything like this in the dark. Plus, these parks all close at sundown anyway, so be smart. Don't do dumb things. But I will absolutely suggest doing this activity, hiking, getting out and about. It's not only good mobility, staying active, but connecting to nature. I think it's kind of cliche just saying like I'm outside, I'm connecting with nature. Maybe it's a cliche, but I hope that people feel more of a understanding and connectedness with the world around them if they're actually in it. Right? Taking the time to look at the plants, maybe look at the animals that you see, and just kind of have an appreciation for these habitats that we have not taken over yet. Have an appreciation and kind of respect for what we've got and the animals around us. I always love, one of my favorite plants in the world is moss. And I love the ecosystems that grow on large trees. Like seeing these beautiful mosses and ferns and lichens covering these tree branches is just one of the most beautiful things for me to experience out here. There's not many of that here, but there's a lot of it in Florida, especially at the school we're going to. Yeah, but learn more about the plants, learn more about the biology of plants, the habitats that they inhabit, their reproductive systems, how they grow, what nutrients they need. It's really a fantastic thing to learn, and spending more time out there will maybe open people's eyes to it. We are coming up near the end. I hope you guys have all liked this. I loved the hike. I like talking about it. I hope you enjoy the video and leave a comment if you did. See you later. Enjoy the walk.